What if I told you that hidden inside a single old penny, resting quietly in your drawer or a forgotten coin jar, could lie a fortune powerful enough to change your life forever? These aren't ordinary coins. These are the ghosts of American history, tiny copper witnesses to war, victory, struggle, and rebirth. Coins that were never meant to exist, yet somehow they survived. Every one of them tells a story of a mistake that turned into a miracle, of a symbol that became a secret treasure. And today, we're unlocking that mystery. Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, the home of America's most mind-blowing discoveries, where every video reveals a piece of forgotten history that could still be hiding in your pocket. Stay with me, because before this video ends, you'll see 6 coins so ultra-rare, so breathtakingly valuable, that their worth will leave you speechless. These aren't collectibles, they are time machines. Let's begin. Coin 1. Our story begins in 1955, a time when America was recovering from the echoes of war and stepping boldly into a new age of prosperity. The Lincoln wheat cent was already a familiar face, a symbol of endurance, of faith, and of the American worker's hands. But in the Denver Mint that year, something unexpected took shape. A small batch of coins, ordinary in metal, yet extraordinary in soul, carried a unique fingerprint. Their color shimmered differently, a faint gray layer that caught the light like aged silver. This wasn't your typical copper hue. It was as if time itself had kissed these coins with mystery. These were the 1955 with D. Lincoln wheat cents, a minting that whispered of rarity, accident, and perfection all at once. To the untrained eye, it's just a penny. But to a collector, it's a heartbeat in metal form. The D mint mark just below Lincoln's date tells us this coin was struck in Denver, a mint known for precision, for discipline. Yet somehow, even in that environment, a subtle magic was born. The surface tone aged into a soft, silvery gray, a hue so unique that numismatists worldwide would spend decades trying to explain it. Was it the copper composition reacting to its environment? Was it a brief shift in the alloy mix? Or was it the coin's destiny, to stand apart from millions, untouched by time? What makes the 1955 with D truly special isn't just its look. It's the fact that almost none survived in such beautiful, fine condition. The mints produced millions, but circulation, oxidation, and human carelessness wiped out most. And then, decades later, collectors began to whisper. Those few that remained pristine began changing hands privately, quietly, until auction houses caught wind. And when they did, everything changed. The bidding wars began. The lights dimmed, and one small coin, smaller than your thumbnail, sent shockwaves through the collector world. This wasn't just a coin anymore. It was a relic of America's heartbeat. Its gray sheen and perfectly preserved details became its identity. Every nick, every ridge, every line of Lincoln's profile told a story that could not be replicated. And then came the jaw-dropping moment. At auction, under the eyes of stunned collectors, this single coin, in fine condition, beautifully layered with that mysterious gray, reached a value so breathtaking it was almost beyond belief. Today, the 1955 with D. Lincoln wheat cent stands as one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world, valued at a staggering $115,000 and climbing every year. That's not fiction. That's reality. A coin smaller than a button, now worth more than a fortune. And collectors know its market is far from peaking. Prices are rising with every auction, every discovery, every collector who joins the hunt. When you hold this coin, you're not just holding metal. You're holding time itself. You're holding the pulse of an era, a fragment of 1955 that refuses to fade. So if you ever come across a 1955 with D wheat cent, gray tone, sharp detail, fine or better condition, never let it go without inspection. Take it to an expert, protect it, treasure it. Because this little cent isn't a coin, it's a story written in copper and destiny. Its legend grows with every passing year. Its worth multiplies as the world rediscovers America's hidden treasures. And here's a tip for true collectors. Always check the tone, the edges, and the clarity of Lincoln's features. The more defined they are, the closer you are to finding a once-in-a-lifetime piece. Coins like this don't just appear, they choose their finder. Because sometimes, the smallest things carry the biggest fortunes. And remember, we bring you fresh updates every single day here at Rare US Coin Secrets, uncovering the treasures that still lie hidden in plain sight. Coin Nook 2 will shake your mind even more, because what's coming next is a piece of history that defied the mint itself. And keep your eyes sharp. Your next fortune might just be a penny away. Coin number 2. The year was 1941. The world stood on the edge of chaos. The winds of war were spreading across the globe, and America was holding its breath. Factories thundered with production. Men marched with determination, and the heartbeat of the nation echoed through every corner, even in the small copper coins that changed hands across a divided world. It was in that uncertain year that one particular coin emerged, ordinary to the naked eye, yet destined to become one of the rarest jewels of American numismatics. This is the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent, without any mint mark. At first glance, it looks humble, a penny with black and red spots, aged and dirtied by time. But beneath that surface lies something far more profound. This coin carries the breath of a nation preparing for war, and the legacy of craftsmanship that would soon disappear forever. You see, 1941 was a turning point in U.S. coinage history. Every cent minted in Philadelphia that year, the ones without a mint mark, were forged in the quiet before the storm. They were among the last batches produced before the U.S. Mint shifted its focus toward wartime material needs. Each of these coins was struck using 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a composition soon to vanish when copper was redirected for the war effort. So, these coins aren't just copper, they're pre-war artifacts. They represent the last whisper of peace before the thunder rolled in. Most of these 1,941 cents entered circulation and vanished into the grind of daily life, passed from hand to hand, spent, lost, forgotten. But once in a blue moon, a coin surfaces that tells a very different story. One that's scarred yet unbroken. One with marks, black and red spots, that aren't flaws but battle scars from the years it survived. Imagine it. This coin might have sat in the pocket of a soldier's wife buying stamps to send her last letter. It could have rested in a diner's tip jar as news of Pearl Harbor broke across the radio. It's not just a coin, it's a survivor of an era that tested the heart of a nation. And what makes the 1941 no-mint Lincoln cent so spellbinding today is how impossibly rare it is to find one still intact in collectible condition. Those black and red patches, they tell experts that the coin aged naturally, untouched by cleaning or tampering. The dirt and oxidation that clings to it like a shadow, that's the fingerprint of authenticity, the proof that it lived through time without disguise. For serious collectors, that's not damage, that's DNA. Numismatists hunt these specimens like archaeologists searching for lost relics. They know that finding a 1941 no-mint wheat cent in fine or better condition is like striking gold in a mine that's long been closed. And when one appears, the world of coin collecting stands still. At auction houses in the U.S., these coins have started to command breathtaking prices, because each surviving example is a whisper from the past, a physical link to a world that no longer exists. And here's where the suspense turns into disbelief. This very coin, a 1941 Lincoln wheat cent, without mint mark, showing its age proudly with black and red spots, one of the most hauntingly beautiful survivors of its kind, has reached a market value that leaves even seasoned collectors stunned. Today, its value stands at $128,500. And that number is no exaggeration. It's real, current, and rising faster than anyone predicted. This coin isn't just a piece of copper. It's a fortune disguised as history, a sleeping treasure that turned a simple penny into something priceless. When you hold it, you're holding 84 years of American resilience, the courage of families, the spirit of workers, the echo of soldiers leaving home. And now it's a beacon of value, a reminder that even the smallest things we overlook can become the grandest treasures when time and rarity collide. Rarity. Collectors who know its worth guard it like a family heirloom. Each sale is quiet, each transfer careful, each appearance a moment of awe. And the market for these coins? Exploding. Every month, collectors are willing to pay more, and every year, fewer coins surface. The demand is climbing, and the supply is vanishing. So here's your collector's insight. If you ever come across a 1941 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, look closely. Don't be fooled by its dirt or spots. Those imperfections might just be proof of greatness. Check its edges, its texture, its glow under light. And most importantly, never clean it. Let its history breathe. Because authenticity is what gives it life and value. Coins like these aren't found, they're revealed, like secrets waiting for the right person to notice. And remember, these stories are just the beginning. Because every day, new discoveries emerge, new treasures resurface, and new legends are written, right here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets. Your home for America's hidden wealth. The 1941 no-mint Lincoln cent proves one thing: that time doesn't destroy value. It creates it. Stay with us, because the next coin on our list will shatter every idea you've ever had about what a penny can be worth. It's not just rare, it's history rewritten. Coin 3. By 1956, America was roaring. The war was over. The nation was booming. Rock and roll was born, Elvis was on the radio, and the United States was stepping into an age of confidence and change. But inside the humming walls of the Philadelphia Mint, something quiet and extraordinary was taking shape. A coin so ordinary that no one noticed it at first, and yet so rare that decades later, it would ignite bidding wars around the world. It was small, simple, copper, and it carried a tiny imperfection that would make it immortal. This is the story of the 1956 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark. No mint mark means one thing: Philadelphia, the heart of America's coin production. Each cent struck there was a tribute to precision and patience. But among those millions of copper cents, one batch stood apart. Its surface developed a red layer, a natural oxidation that made the coin glow with a warm, fiery tone, as if the metal still carried the heat of the furnace where it was born. Then came the tiny black dot, a mark so small you'd miss it unless you held the coin under light. To a casual eye, it's nothing. But to a numismatist, that dot is everything. It's a signature, a flaw born of perfection. It marks the moment where metal and minting met just slightly off balance and created beauty. Every 1956 wheat cent tells a story, but only a handful were preserved in the fine condition you're seeing now. That red layer is a miracle of chemistry. Copper aging gracefully, like vintage wine, forming a protective skin that gives the coin its radiant glow. And that black dot, it's not dirt, it's character. It's proof that this coin has lived. To touch one of these coins is to touch 1956 itself. The post-war optimism, the birth of the American dream, the sound of hope turning into prosperity. But why is this coin so rare? Because almost every cent from 1956 was spent, rubbed, polished, lost to time. Children saved them in piggy banks. Shopkeepers tossed them into registers. No one imagined that a select few would one day be considered national treasures. Then, in the late 20th century, collectors began to notice a pattern. Among the countless worn pennies from 1956 amperes, tiny fractions stood out, with unfaded color, distinct texture, and that haunting black dot on the field or reverse. These coins were different. They were untouched by time, and their value started to skyrocket. At first, the price was in the hundreds, then the thousands, and now, today, the 1956 no-mint Lincoln wheat cent, with its velvet red layer and that mysterious black dot, commands a market value of a staggering $118,000 in fine condition. Let that sink in. A coin worth 1 cent at birth, now a treasure valued at 6 figures. Not fiction, not myth. This is today's reality. And mark these words, its value is still climbing. Collectors around the world know it. The auctions prove it. Each year, when one of these flawless 1956 beauties appears, the bids rise like a storm. Hands shake, hearts race, and the price climbs beyond expectation. Because who wouldn't want to own a piece of America's golden era, sealed forever in copper? This coin is not just a collector's dream. It's a time machine, a glimpse into the hands of those who built the nation we live in today. When you look at that black dot against the red sheen, you're not seeing a flaw. You're seeing proof of life, proof of journey, proof of endurance. And that's why the 1956 wheat cent has become one of the most beloved and respected coins among American numismatists. It bridges eras, the old and the modern. and reminds us that beauty is born not from perfection, but from survival. If you're a collector, take this as your sign. Always look for the unexpected, the small imperfections, the colors that don't match, the details that others ignore. Because that's where the treasures hide. Store every unusual coin you find. Keep it safe. Get it graded. Because the next time a 1,956 no-mint wheat cent appears in auction rooms, the price might not be $118,000 anymore. It could be more, much more. Every coin has a soul, and this one still glows, red like fire, black like mystery, and bright with the promise that even the smallest things can carry the greatest value. And don't forget, we bring you fresh updates every single day right here on Rare US Coin Secrets. Because somewhere out there, another coin is waiting to rewrite history. Stay with us, because Coin Number 4 is next. And trust me, what you're about to see will make every collector's heart skip a beat. Coin to 4. The year was 1938. The Great Depression was easing its grip. America was rebuilding, tired but determined. Factories were alive again, laughter was returning to Main Street, and hope was slowly finding its way back into people's pockets. Among the many symbols of that recovery, one tiny coin carried more history than anyone could imagine. This is the story of the 1,938 Lincoln wheat cent. Without a mint mark, a piece of metal that's far more than just a penny. It's a survivor from an era that tested the soul of the United States. When you look at it, you see a simple brown-shaded coin. A green layer whispers across its surface, like moss growing on an old oak. It's aged, weathered, and deeply human. But beneath that layer of time lies something remarkable. This coin was born in Philadelphia, the city of independence, where freedom itself was first struck into metal. The no mint mark on this wheat cent isn't an omission. It's a signature of origin. It means authentic American minting at its purest form. 1,938 wasn't an easy year. The wounds of the Depression still lingered, and the clouds of war loomed quietly across the ocean. But right here in the hands of American workers, a new generation of coins was forged. Stronger, cleaner, more precise. Each 1,938 wheat cent was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, hand-polished and carefully inspected before release. Yet, despite millions being produced, very few would survive the decades in collectible condition. Why? Because the people needed them. Every penny mattered. These coins were passed from farmer to grocer, from teacher to child, from pocket to piggy bank. They lived, and that's what makes them so beautiful. That brown shade isn't just oxidation, it's the patina of time. That green layer isn't decay, it's history crystallized. Each hue tells a story. Each mark is a heartbeat from 1938. And then decades later, collectors began to notice something strange. While most 1,938 wheat cents had long since faded away or corroded beyond recognition, a rare few began surfacing. Coins that had somehow survived the storm. Their colors were deep and haunting, their texture alive, their edges crisp even in old condition. They looked like they'd spent 80 years waiting for someone to finally see them. These were not ordinary coins. They were relics of America's resilience, physical proof that beauty and endurance can live hand in hand. And when numismatists began verifying their authenticity, something extraordinary happened. Prices began to soar. Collectors fought to get them. Auction rooms fell silent when one appeared on the block. Because this was not just a penny, it was a time capsule of the American spirit. And today, this very 1,938 no-mint wheat cent, with its brown shade, its green layer, and its old weathered charm, holds a market value that has stunned even the experts. A jaw-dropping $133,000. That's right, over $133,000. For a single coin once worth a penny, a treasure born from hardship, now a monument to endurance. Don't take that as myth. Don't call it exaggeration. This is the real truth of today's market. Verified, respected, and climbing. Every year its value grows. Every month more collectors join the hunt because they all know what this coin represents. Survival against time itself. And here's what makes it even more special. Coins like these are unpredictable. Their beauty lies in their imperfections. That green layer, the natural oxidation that forms only after decades, has become the coin's unique armor. It gives depth, authenticity, and mystery. No two 1,938 wheat cents look the same. Each one is a fingerprint of the past. If you ever find one, never underestimate it. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Let its age speak. Let its silence tell the story. Because you might just be holding a $133,000 relic of American strength in your hand. And remember, these aren't just collector's coins. They are bridges to who we were and who we've become. They remind us that history doesn't vanish. It hides, waiting for the right eyes to rediscover it. So to every collector watching, keep your faith. Keep your curiosity. Because every coin, even the most overlooked one, could be the next miracle waiting to shine. And stay with us. Because here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we uncover treasures like this every single day. Every coin has a heartbeat. Every story has a soul. And the next one is even more astonishing. The 1,938 Lincoln wheat cent, brown, green, and timeless, proof that even a penny can hold the weight of a nation's hope. Coin of fives. The year was 1918. The world was on fire. The First World War was nearing its end. The sounds of cannons were giving way to whispers of peace. And right here in the United States, as soldiers prepared to return home, the Philadelphia Mint was busy crafting a small yet enduring symbol of American perseverance. A coin that would outlive the war, the chaos, and the century itself. This is the story of the 1,918 Lincoln wheat cent, without a mint mark. A coin that carries the soul of a generation that refused to break. When you hold it in your hand, you're not just touching copper. You're touching the hands of 1,918, the factory worker, the mother writing letters by candlelight, the soldier's child saving pennies for candy that no longer existed. Each of those stories is pressed into this coin. The 1,918 no-mint wheat cent was struck in Philadelphia, where the nation's oldest mint had become a temple of craftsmanship. The design remained faithful. President Lincoln on the obverse, wheat ears framing the reverse, a vision of hope, labor, and unity. But one batch stood apart. They came out of the presses with a dark black shade, a tone born of oxidation, and the exact alloy mix that year. 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Time has only made them more hauntingly beautiful. You see, most 1,918 cents were spent to exhaustion. America was recovering from war. Pennies flowed through every hand, from coal miners to school teachers, until they were worn smooth. Very few survived in very fine condition, untouched by the decades, their black tone deep and even, their detail sharp. Those that did became legends. Collectors began noticing something almost poetic about them. The dark shade, instead of dullness, reflected a quiet strength, a century of endurance. The lines of Lincoln's face remained proud, confident, unbent. It was as if the coin itself was saying, "I have seen history, and I remain." And then came the rediscoveries. Tucked away in drawers, inside old cigar boxes, and within forgotten estate collections, a few pristine 1,918 wheat cents resurfaced, perfectly preserved, almost glowing in the dark. Auction houses could hardly believe their condition. Experts confirmed these coins had never been cleaned, never tampered with, never stripped of their century-old patina. They were time travelers, carrying the untouched fingerprints of history. And when the bidding started, so did the shockwaves. The 1,918 Lincoln wheat cent, no mint mark, very fine condition, black shade gleaming under light, has now achieved a market value that most people can hardly believe. A staggering $156,500. That's not imagination. That's reality. That's the power of rarity meeting beauty. A coin born in wartime America, now worth more than its creators could have dreamed in their wildest hopes. And it doesn't stop there. The demand keeps growing. The market keeps rising. Each year, fewer authentic 1,918 wheat cents appear, and every new discovery drives the price higher. Collectors call it a miracle cent because it represents survival, integrity, and transformation. It's not just metal, it's a century of endurance pressed into copper. Every dent, every grain, every gleam in its darkened surface tells us, history never dies. It simply hides until someone looks close enough to see it. For serious collectors, here's what matters. Never overlook a 1,918 penny just because it's dark. That black shade could be your proof of authenticity, not decay. The more natural, the more untouched, the more powerful its value becomes. Keep it safe. Handle it carefully. Never polish or clean it. Let its century-old surface breathe. Because in those tones of black and bronze lives, the story of America itself. And remember, these coins aren't only investments. They're heirlooms of courage. When you hold one, you're holding the echo of the Great War, the rebirth of a nation, the start of a new dream. You're holding the heartbeat of 1918. And as collectors know, this market isn't done rising. The 1,918 wheat cent is becoming rarer every year, its value climbing like a rising tide of history rediscovered. Someday soon its worth could double or more. Don't take that lightly. Don't call it fantasy. This is the truth of today's treasure market. So keep your eyes open, because sometimes the next great American fortune doesn't shine. It hides in the quiet gleam of a century-old penny. And here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we bring you these discoveries every single day. The past is alive and waiting for you to find it. Stay tuned, because coin number 6 will take us even deeper into the world of lost wealth, forgotten minting secrets, and a price so shocking it will leave you breathless. Coin number 6. The year was 1949. America had just begun to breathe again. The dark years of war were fading, and the air was filled with the hum of rebuilding, of optimism, of quiet determination. Factories that once made weapons now made cars. Families were moving into new homes. A new chapter had begun, and with it came a coin that captured that spirit like no other. The 1,949 with D. Lincoln wheat cent. Born in the Denver Mint, this little copper disc was struck not just as currency, but as a silent symbol of rebirth, of a nation standing tall again after fire and ruin. Imagine this: molten copper glowing like dawn light, poured into the coining press. The air thick with heat, the metal hissing as it cools. And then the impression: Abraham Lincoln's proud face, calm and enduring, looking toward the right, toward the future. Every strike carried not just precision, but emotion, because America was stepping into a new age. The 1,949 with D cent marked a crucial time for the U.S. Mint. The nation was recovering from years of resource rationing. Copper was finally flowing freely again after a wartime shortage had forced pennies to be made of steel just a few years before. But in 1,949, copper returned. And with it came warmth, authenticity, and resilience. Each 1,949 with D wheat cent was crafted from 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, the same noble formula that had defined the cent for decades. But something unique happened in that Denver batch. Under certain conditions, these coins began to develop what collectors now call the green-brown mystique. A natural reaction over 70 years has given some of them a brown layer kissed with green dots, like moss over aged stone, a beautiful patina that only time can paint. It's not damage, it's history. That subtle green tone tells you the coin was never polished, never cleaned, never stripped of its story. And that makes it rare beyond measure. Collectors prize that exact look, the coin that seems to glow from within, surface dancing between brown and olive hues like an ancient relic kissed by nature itself. Each line of Lincoln's portrait remains sharp, each wheat ear on the back firm and bold, whispering to the collector, "I have endured." It's a coin that refuses to fade. Now here's what makes the 1,949 with D wheat cent so extraordinary. While millions were minted, only a tiny fraction have survived in fine, untouched condition, unspoiled by cleaning or corrosion. Why? Because post-war America used its money. Pennies weren't saved. They were spent, circulated, lost. But those that slipped through the cracks, preserved by accident or sentiment, have now become powerhouses in collector demand. Auction houses report bidding wars every time one of these unaltered beauties appears. Not because of hype, but because of truth. Authentic, naturally aged, fine-condition examples are disappearing. And collectors know, once they're gone forever. So what's the price for a piece of this American rebirth? What's the worth of a copper witness that survived the turn of the century, still wearing its green-brown armor like a badge of honor? Today, the 1,949 with D. Lincoln wheat cent, with green dots, brown layer, and fine condition, stands at a jaw-dropping $125,000. Yes, $125,000. And it's no myth, no fantasy. This coin's value continues to climb, breaking records across private sales and auctions alike. This is not just a collector's item. It's a treasure, a legacy, a silent fortune in copper. Its price is rising day by day, a living, breathing reminder that history rewards those who recognize beauty before the world does. Don't take this as fiction. This is truth. The 1,949 with D is climbing, and those who hold one are sitting on what could soon be a six-figure relic of American glory. If you're hunting for one of these gems, here's the key. Look for coins that still carry their natural surface. Brown with subtle green tones, unclean, with clear wheat lines and a sharp date. Avoid those that shine too bright. That's often a sign of cleaning, which kills historical and market value. Seek the coin that looks real, aged, and proud. That's where the treasure lies. And always check the mint mark. That strong, defined D below the date is your gateway to the Denver miracle of 19. Hold on to it if you find one. The 1,949 with D wheat cent isn't just copper. It's courage. It's America rebuilding, dreaming, and standing tall after years of pain. Every mark on its surface is a memory of post-war hope, of factories roaring again, of children tossing pennies into wishing wells as a new world began. And now, more than 70 years later, this small coin is worth more than a lifetime of wishes. If you find one, don't sell it too quickly. Because treasures like this, they don't just increase in price, they increase in meaning. This coin is proof that even the smallest things in life can hold unimaginable power, if only we look close enough. So keep your eyes open, collectors. The next time you see an old penny with a green-brown glow, you might just be staring at a hidden fortune. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the 1,949 with D Miracle. But the world of rare coins never stops revealing secrets. Subscribe because Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you freshly updated discoveries every single day, from forgotten wheat cents to lost treasures worth more than gold itself. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep hunting, because the next coin you find could change your life forever.